Anything else on these rankings? Is Connor
Man,
kind of underrated, actually?
I do believe at
97?
97, I like Connor. Like Chris Carson, for example, is at 53. I don't think Chris Carson. I think Chris Carson is a better player, but I don't think he's that much better than what a James Conner is. But both of these guys, when you think about the injury history, the highs and lows from both of their performances, I just don't think that gap is that big. I'm trying to say who else is rated crazily. Kenyon Drake at 68. Like I said, with James at 97,
I'd maybe still rather have Connor, but not at the number.
Yeah, right. And the money is going to have a lot to do with it. But I think the thing with James that he kind of gets the bad rap for, we all agree that the O-line struggled. And even as it pertains to Al was good, really good at times in pass protection. But in terms of just movement, right, blowing guys off the ball, he struggles with that. When I think of those things, why do we, make it as only an indictment on James Conner that the running game wasn't working when we know for a fact there was, very minimal push up front. Obviously, it was mix up of a line a couple of times because of different injuries and stuff like that. But I just think that James definitely is getting, he's taking on a lot more of that than he really is responsible for. And that 97 definitely shows that. I think James in the right situation can still ball out. I think from a health standpoint, that's going to be the big thing. But if you have him in a better situation up front from a O-line standpoint, I don't think he's going to have to take as many hits. I think that, he's going to be able to be the one delivering the blow a lot more than being on the receiving end of it. And I think wherever he goes in his next situation, he's not going to have to be the bell cow back. It's going to be some form of legitimate rotation, legitimate committee, which is ultimately going to help him a lot longer in terms of extending his career a lot longer.
So I'm looking at the stats. James Conner last year. Mm-hmm. In 13 games, 721 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's 4.3 yards per carry, 215 receiving yards, 35 receptions. And that's 13 games. In reality, it was probably more like 11 and a half or 12 with some of the games he played.
And ball security, too.
Ball security?
Talk about the ball security.
Did he fumble?
That's what I think he might have had one.
I'm trying to look. Right? I don't know if it's popping up here. Fumble. 2.
2. Okay. So still good ball security as well. When I think of all of those things, it's like I think the perception surrounding James is very inaccurate right now. I think that, like I said, it was all the different variables, but he became the face of it. He became the scapegoat for that. And unless you get some of these running backs that we talked about, right? In terms of a Travis Etienne, in terms of a Najee Harris, in terms of a Javonte Williams, I don't know how much of an upgrade we're getting at running back as we continue to progress down because, like I said, James is still a good player. So you're going to make sure that, hey, this guy needs to be at least better than what James was.
Sure. Just not for $5-6 million for the Steelers organizational standpoint.
Yes. Yeah. We're not paying that for we won't need to pay that. Not to running back right now.
Yeah. So if you look at it, 930 something yards on, 11 and a half, 12 games last year.
Yep.
With our shitty offensive line.
I was say, and being very unbalanced as well. We didn't have a lot of balance in terms of rushing attempts consistently either. I like that for James, man. I think that in the right situation, James can still flourish, man. He can still be a really good player. Yeah, he was like
a top 5 or 6 rusher 6-7 weeks into the season. I think what hurts him too is whenever Benny Snell was in, I thought his games just felt better. Like whenever he played really well, like the Giants game, you felt like, oh man, Benny Snell, this is Steeler running back right here. And then the Bengals game too, just when everything was going to shit, he came in and provided some type of running game.
Yeah.
I think that's what hurt Connor, because whenever he had his good games, it never really felt like we needed him that bad. I think one of them came in the Cleveland game. We were already dominating them.
Yep.
So that probably has something to do with the perception too.
Mm-hmm. So it is crazy surrounding him. And I also know in terms of the yards per carry, it was largely ballooned because of that run that he had at the end of the game against Denver. No, seriously, if you take the Denver run out of it,
really, it goes down to 4 maybe?
It goes to like less than 3. It was in the 3. It was like 3.5 or 3.7 or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
So yeah. Because we did this week 2 ago we actually had to like look at his numbers and we were like, well, man, it wasn't that bad. Look at the average yards per carry. We're like, oh, that was the play. You take that out. He's like, oh, all right, not as impressive. Okay. But either way, man, the play happened. So with the play happening, we're going to take them yards per tote. So I like it.